Enchanted Tiki Talk is brought to you by Kingdom Strollers. Our premium stroller and crib rentals are delivered straight to your Disney or Orlando area resort. It couldn't be easier. Book yours at kingdomstrollers.com. And Mouse Pros. Let our travel specialist plan your next vacation. Our concierge level service gives you the perfect hassle-free vacation. Get your free quote from Sean or any of our magical agents at mousepros.com. And Mickey Monthly, the Disney fans' monthly subscription box that brings the magic right to your door. Visit them at mickeymonthly.com. And now, it's show time!
In the tiki 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 hut, in the tiki 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 hut, all the birds talk Disney and the listeners swoon. In the tiki 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 hut, welcome to our enchanted hideaway, you lucky people, you. If you weren't listening starting right away, we'd be out of an audience too. In the tiki 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 hut, in the tiki 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 hut, in the tiki 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 hut, in the tiki 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 hut.
Hello and welcome to Enchanted Tiki Hut. This is episode 252 for the week of August 19th, 2018. So this week on the show, Keith is unfortunately away. And when I mean away and unfortunate, I mean he's down to Disney, and it's unfortunate that myself and one of our guests, Brian, is not in Disney World. So with that, I have Steve. What's going on, Steve?
Hey, how are you?
Thanks for coming on. And sure. Brian, thanks for returning back to the hut. How's it going?
Very good. I'm doing a little on location calling as well, so fun. Yeah,
that's all right. I mean, and you're in beautiful Cleveland, which is a great place, so Keith says.
He sold me on it, and you know how he sells things, so.
Yeah, we know it's not good. You believe everything. It's like a snake oil salesman.
Isn't it the Mecca of the Midwest?
The Mecca of what?
The Mecca of the Midwest, Cleveland? Guess not.
I don't know.
That's I on the 18th story, huh?
All right. So, Brian, you've been on before, so thanks once again for returning. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Mike.
Any Disney trips coming up? Don't you have one coming up? Or
myself, I was planning one, and actually right about the same time Keith is there right now, and we had to cancel. My wife got a new job, and we're probably going to do this time next year because that's the only time we can go. So.
Yeah, that's fine. You'll still enjoy the heat. It's hot no matter where you are in the States, at least this year anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so Steve, you were at a special event Friday night, and that special event was Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Why don't you go ahead and tell our listeners some of the new things that they could be looking forward to seeing this year?
A lot of sweaty people because it is hot.
Especially in August.
It is the earliest they've ever done this. So if you're planning on wearing something, make sure it's light. A couple of new things this year is the Mad Tea Party. What they've done is enhancements to the music and to the light show. It changes every time. A lot of fun. Even if you don't like being on the teacups and getting dizzy, it's fun just to watch. It's a really nice little 2-minute show. They've added a dance party over at Storybook Circus, and many people have not been able to find it, I think, last night, because they didn't look close enough, or they don't know exactly where it is. But if you're going there, it's behind the big top, and the music is blaring. It's a Disney Junior party. Lots of characters. Lots of fun. Not a lot of people there on the first night, but I think it'll probably grow as people realize what's happening.
Is that where the old Fast Pass distribution area was?
Yes.
Okay.
And the Pirates, they've added Gunpowder Pete. They've added some live action into the animatronics. As you walk down the entry plank, you've got a pirate with a wanted poster looking for Gunpowder Pete, shouting at people. And as you go through the ride, you are searching for Gunpowder Pete, and you cannot miss him because Gunpowder Pete is shouting at you. If I wanted someone to shout at me like that on the docks, I'd go to the docks. Not very I applaud them for trying something new. I think it's something that they could probably enhance in the future, but just having a guy on top of a bridge shouting at you that he's "Our gunpowder Pete, looking for you," not exactly sure it works too much.
Right.
But still, a fun time. Again, the Sanderson sisters having a lot of fun for their 25th anniversary of the movie during their stage show. And the parade is always the parade, which I call the celebration of candy, is always fun. The other thing is, as you enter the park, they started doing this last year. You go to the right immediately towards the backstage area, and you get funneled in through where they normally have been exiting people out to the front from the Tomorrowland Terrace. And in there, you've got a couple of photo pass stations for pictures, and they give you your first round of candy, and you can get going. And just a little pro tip here: if you're going, go trick-or-treating later in the night.
Right.
During the day, it will melt, and it will melt into a glob of big, thick chocolate. Especially when I checked at 10 o'clock at night, it felt like 95 degrees with the humidity and the heat.
Did you notice? Was there a large crowd for this, or was it on the smaller side?
It was sold out. This was sold out.
Was,
The first
wow.
one was sold out, so it was big. It was so big, it was difficult to get in front of the castle to see Hallowishes.
Wow. I can't believe that. I guess, well, that's the first one. You have, especially for that time, for the first party, no matter when it is, you have a lot of, bloggers, photographers, Instagrammers, all trying to get there first and see what's new and report on it. So I think that's probably one of the reasons why it probably sold out first.
Right. Plus, I mean, you have Disney Parks Blog did their meetup.
Right.
So you have anything special that's taking place. It's a good night to get the kinks out of things. But they've been doing a very good job on it, and the desserts. Tried a few of the desserts. It was good. The Jack Skellington pop-up was. I'm not really big into the pop-up desserts, but this one was really good. And a hot night had to have the candy corn soft serve ice cream.
Do they still put the candy corns in, or is it like mixed now? Like, is
it's totally mixed.
Okay.
So you can get a vanilla candy corn swirl and real soft serve ice cream at Anti-Gravity's, which I've always applaud, opposed to some of this other stuff, ice milk stuff that they provide.
Right.
But it's good soft serve ice cream, and it hit the spot last night.
Did you see a lot of people dressed up?
Bunch of people dressed up. It's funny because the meet and greet near the teacups, obviously a lot of Tweedledee, Tweedledum couples.
Right.
Most people were smart. They wore T-shirts to represent their costumes. There were some people who were dressed up. I bumped into this one young woman who had a full Sully costume, and we chatted for a second, and she looked like she was about to die.
Wow.
She was sweat pouring all over. There's a lot of questions in talking to people. They deciding their costumes. They realized how hot it was going to be, so they didn't want to be dressed up too much. But a lot of T-shirts, a lot of light jackets, things like that to help represent the characters. Nothing too outrageous that I saw. Actually, no, that's not true. There's a couple of pirates, very well done pirates, who could have easily have gone on the stage to help Captain Jack.
Right. Anything else major?
Major? Nothing major.
Okay.
Of course, everything, if you're looking for merchandise, was the lines were filled. They've put out 4,000 of special magic bands. And this year, they were able to put out all of the Sanderson sisters stuff, unlike last year where they had to pull back some merchandise because I believe of copyright issues.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Thanks, Steve. I'm glad you enjoyed it and let us know what was new and exciting, and that you didn't melt in the heat.
No. A lot of fun, and during the week on DisneyDiary.com, there'll be a lot of updates and videos, things like that.
All right, good. All right, so with that, let's take a quick break.
Gather round, friends, and hear my tale that started long ago on the Sleepy Hollow Trail. When the air is filled with the chill of fall, he's the one who leads them all. From witches' laughter and ghoulish growls to ghosts and monsters on the prowl. With a glowing pumpkin to light the way, he's lurking to find his perfect grave. He's the bringer of Halloween fear. Beware, the Headless Horseman is here.
It's very sparkly. I'm mesmerized by your lights going by. Don't mess with Gunpowder Pete. Your lights aren't going to mess me up. I know what I'm doing.
Oftentimes, love is a battlefield, and when I mean love, I mean hate. And when I mean battlefield, I mean things we love to hate at Disney. So this week, we're going to do just that. We're going to talk about things that we love to hate at Disney. Now, this is an interesting topic because this could either destroy our show or destroy our own person, and people might not want to ever talk to us again, depending on what we have to say. But I tried to keep it somewhat nice. But I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna start it here. I'm gonna start it with the dinger, and with that, I'm gonna go with because Keith's not here and he can't defend himself. One of the things I'm gonna say is turkey legs. Right now,
Ooh.
The turkey legs. I love to hate on these things mostly because they're so big. They're also very expensive, and people look like animals just eating them. It's probably the most disgusting thing to see is somebody take a bite on a turkey leg when they're walking through the park. I just want to close my eyes and hide because they look like cannibals that have never eaten before. You know, it's just because it's so massive. It's not like eating a hot dog or anything like that, or even a chicken wing. You just got to get your whole face into that thing and take a bite, and it's kind of gross just looking at that. So, I mean, this is easily one of those things that I love to hate, and it might taste good. Everybody says it tastes a little like ham, which I guess is great, but I just can't bring myself to be walking around a park eating one of these things.
Why would a turkey leg taste like ham?
Yeah, I've never heard that.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Because I think there's so much salt in it.
I agree with you. I think I can't understand walking around with just something that big and just chomping on it throughout the day or throughout the hour. It's the grease, the whole thing.
Right.
It's like it's a picture perfect of gluttony.
Right.
Yeah, imagine walking around with like a pork chop in your hand. There's no difference.
Well, didn't they have the pork chop over at
It did. Oh, good Lord.
yeah, at what's that place? Yeah, Gaston's. So I guess
Oh, no.
sort of the same thing.
Yeah. Any animal part of their body that turns into a snack is disconcerting, at least. It's the only snack that you can floss with right after you eat it. So
Good point. See, it's one of those things you just love to hate.
that's
All right.
it. As you come out firing. There.
I had to. Brian, what do you got?
One of my favorite, actually, you kind of just touched on it. Special events. I think those are, if you're not going to it, you love to hate on them because the park closes 6 hours early. I think this is the earliest ever for the Halloween one. Is that am I right on that? I don't.
Time wise, you mean like
Time wise,
August?
technically close at 7. Yeah, I mean.
No, I meant like in the year, like.
Oh yeah, it is. It
17th.
is the earliest.
Yeah, which again, this is the time period I normally go, and this will give me a chance. I can never actually make the Halloween special, so I would love to do it. But also, if I showed up there and they booted me out of the park at 7, I would also hate the thing. So.
Yeah, the special event party, I think Disney uses the line that says because of guest demand that they have so many nights, but it's just too much. You're screwing the average person who's just coming down there to enjoy the parks and not wanting to spend money on the extra costs. Because I know somebody that goes every year, and they go down for a week and they do 2 parties, and they have 4 people in the family.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how anybody can afford to do that. I mean, I can't. You're looking at nearly $400. Well, it's basically $400 each night, so that's $800. $800 for a total of what? Let's just say 10 hours. If maybe a little bit more, but that's basically what the party is. It's 5 hours each night. But I personally, I can't justify that, and I can't justify spending $400 alone for my family of 4 for one night. So I just don't see. I've done it before. It's not like anything's new. So I don't know how people can do that twice on a trip.
Or year after year,
or twice.
Yeah. And the problem is you also have for Christmas, the holidays, for the nights that it is open, just to see the castle lit up, it gets so packed.
Right. Exactly.
So it's disproportional, because you're not going to have people who can't afford the Christmas party are going to go because they want to see the lights of the castle, and they can't, because it's just too many people come in.
Right. Well, it's like I'm going down in November, right? And 2 of the nights that I'm there, Thursday and Friday, the last 2 nights of my trip, they're having the Christmas party. Now, the Monday before that, the Magic Kingdom closes at 6 o'clock for a private event. So it's just ridiculous to me to see within a 5-day period that the Magic Kingdom's not available to me after 6 o'clock. That's just ridiculous. That's not fair. Because the Magic Kingdom, especially with kids, is the only place that you can go that has got enough to do for kids. Animal Kingdom's still, I mean, even with the Navi River Journey, there's only a few attractions. And the same thing with Toy Story Land. There's only a few attractions that kids can do. So you're taking away so much. You're forcing people to spend money that they shouldn't have to spend to do a party. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it, but it's just too many nights. That's my biggest complaint.
Mm-hmm.
Before I get so angry, Steve, you.
Well, I'm going to continue the hate on special events, dessert parties.
Oh yeah.
I think there is, and I go to them, so I love to hate them. I love to just complain about them, but there is no reason that you're paying that much to get sugared up on stuff that's not that good. I'm sorry,
Right.
folks.
I agree.
Those desserts are not that good. What you're paying for is the view. And just acknowledge it. You're paying for the view. If you cut the price a little, give me the extra view. I'll go for the view. I don't want the desserts.
Well, because I remember when the Magic Kingdom, it was $29 for adults, and this is 2 years ago, at 3 at most. It was $29, and all of a sudden it jumped up to, I think it was $69. So they had this huge jump. At $29, I could justify the cost, but even then, when it was at that price, I didn't want to do it just because I'm not spending that much money in desserts. Now at $60 or $79, whatever it is, I just don't see it. Even if they sell alcohol, I just don't justify it. It's just the way they make those desserts it's just a cheap dessert with lots of sugar. Sugar is the cheapest ingredient. So everything's got so much sugar, it's overloaded on sugar. And I'm used to, and I've said it before on the podcast, listen, I live in New Jersey. We have Italian bakeries around here. We have Italian desserts. We have Dutch bakeries. We have so many different bakeries that we can go to, and the desserts are incredible. And I can, for $70, I can buy 6 pies, 7 pies, what it is, and feed my whole family for that price, and everybody will enjoy it better. But like Steve said, yeah, you're paying for the view, and I just can't see that. I'd much rather go to I'd much rather grab even a Citrus World, Dole Whip, whatever it is, and sit on Main Street in front of the castle and watch it.
And those dessert parties ruin my pants, because in order to justify that cost, I'm shoving cupcakes. I wear cargo shorts specifically for that reason. But then you get some of those dyes they use, they just don't come out of khakis. So
right, yeah. And then you have to wear your stretchy ones because you're eating so much of this sugar, it's gonna bloat you.
Oh, with the heat, that doesn't feel good. So
no, not at all. So since we just ripped apart all the extra things there, another thing I'm going to go to is Starbucks here. Now, Starbucks, don't get me wrong, I love Starbucks, right? And I completely understand why people hate having Starbucks in the park. Most people like it, but some people do hate it. But basically, it's a corporation took over a small mom and pop shop on Main Street. But, I mean, you've got to love going there to get a Frappuccino. I'm not even talking about coffee, but some of their non-coffee things like the Frappuccinos. I love their iced teas. That's my favorite thing to get at Starbucks. But Starbucks is one of those topics. I kind of defend Starbucks just because I like the iced tea so much. But it's one of those things that you do love to hate. It's just such an easy target.
Go
ahead.
That's just, you said it's a corporation taking over a corporation's mom and pop store.
Right,
so,
exactly.
the symbolism is still there, but, how upset are people really that it's taking over?
There are a lot. I mean, there are a lot. Keith is still one of those people, and he's not here to defend himself, so he's an easy target.
There you go.
There's a lot of people I know who just can't get into the park unless they get their Starbucks.
Really?
Their first stop, no matter what, is a Starbucks. It's also hilarious that, of course, it's like $1 more inside the park, or $1.50 more inside the park for the same exact thing you get from outside the park.
Right. Which, but if you think about it, $1.50 isn't bad compared to theme park and other Disney prices. To be honest with you,
right? But you're talking about something that would go for $5 goes for $6.50 instead. Right. It's a bigger markup.
But still, even at $5, those things are so expensive. There's such a huge profit for them to make in them. So when you add another $1.50, I guess that's Disney's cut. Is $1.50, whatever it's going to be. I'm sure that's what Disney's cut is.
I do love the Disney themed Starbucks merchandise, so that's fantastic.
I do like those. I like the mugs.
All right, you ready for another one of mine?
Yeah, go ahead.
Might as well just get it out of the way. Other guests, and this is a subcategory of their own, but people watching and judging, it's just so fantastic. It's and what a better place. I mean, next to your own mall, but this is just like a mall on steroids. So, I mean, we can just go down. There's 100 things we can. I know Keith just talked about people not getting up on a bus, giving their seat up. I absolutely love it when people do that because I'm like, I give it up. I already gave mine up. Who do they think they are? And it makes you feel so good about yourself. Now that I sound like I came from New Jersey. I'll let Sean go off on a second with that as well. I'm sure he has an opinion about other guests.
The problem is, where do you even start with some of that? It's like, that's like opening up Pandora's box. It's just, there's somebody out there that's going to get easily offended.
It'd be a whole show on its own, too, though. I mean, it's...
Yeah, it's, it's tough with things like that. I understand, you've been in the park all day and you want to sit and you're tired, your legs hurt, but sometimes listen, I've been on a bus with holding one of my kids, and I've given up holding one of my kids asleep on me, and I've given up my seat for people on the bus. So,
yep.
It can be done, and sometimes you just need to do that. I have a friend who he does not get up, so and I don't know what the thinking is mentality. I mean, it's all more the me. But yeah, sometimes you just need to. Sometimes you can just tell by looking at a person, they need to sit.
Yeah, I agreed. You have to be nice. If you're going down the list though of people, the people who really bug me the most are the ones who just stop in the middle of the walkway.
Oh my wife made me put this on the list.
They just want to stop. For whatever reason, they're doing something and they have to stop, and everyone behind them, it's is just going to hit them. Try to get out of the way. It's go to the side. And this is not unique to Disney World.
Oh no, it's not.
This happens in New York City all the time, and bugs me every time.
It happens in a mall.
It's coming in. Just get out of the way. Get out of the flow of traffic. It doesn't take long. You need to check something. You need to talk to someone. Just move over to the side.
Right.
Move over to the side.
I mean, I was in the city yesterday, and I was walking down. I forget where I was. I was over by the Trade Center, and I'm just walking, and there was a family of 3 that were taking pictures, and literally just stopped in the middle of the sidewalk, and I bumped into them, and they're like, "Excuse me." I'm like, "Excuse me?" You just stopped in the middle of the sidewalk, So, and I was looking for where I'm going. I'm not looking up and down and whatnot. I'm trying to go straight and get to where I'm going. So it does, yeah, like you said, it really doesn't matter where you are.
Let's see. Let's do some love hating on Disney itself. Just fan appropriation of everything. They appropriated the purple wall. They appropriated a lot of things that were started by fans, and then they ratchet it up and they make money off of it. I mean, there's a lot of things that fans have started doing just for fun, has been quiet for many years, and Disney grabs a hold of it because they see that it can make a lot of money, and they take the magic away from it. I mean, now you've got the photo pass photographers at the walls. You've got them painting walls specifically just for Instagram. I mean, let people find their own little thing, and let's allow us to have a little underground fun of what's taking place.
Yeah, I understand both viewpoints on that. I understand that Disney is trying to also make it a little more accessible to some people that may not know, but like you said, it just takes it to that whole other level where it isn't fun. It's just when everybody starts knowing about it, it's not fun. And I've never done any of those things because once it becomes mainstream, it's just like, I don't really want to partake in that just because, because you'll show a picture to somebody and they're like, "Oh, you only did that because Disney did that." I'm like, really? Like, see, now I can't even enjoy it because I took a picture at the wall because you're making fun of me for taking a picture there. I mean, come on. Yeah, so I understand it.
Yeah, it's kind of like when us old people use those words those young people like to use, and then they're like, "Oh, it's not cool anymore."
Exactly.
Yeah, true.
Like that conversation was lit. So I just hate to ruin that for the kids, but lit is now gone.
These young whippersnappers.
Yep.
Oh, so that comes back to me.
Yeah,
right.
It does.
So one thing I want to talk about is fast passes. So fast passes, fast pass makes the line shorter. Well, at least for, your 3 attractions that you have per day. But when visiting Disney, you have to plan as a guest if you're staying on site, 60 days in advance. So in some ways it takes the spontaneity out of your trip. I mean, Disney, there's no spontaneity in Disney really for the person planning 6 months in advance. Steve, you can be spontaneous because you can just decide to go to the park, whereas we're planning 11 months in advance as a DVC member. And not to mention when you don't have a fast pass, how angry you get when you see people, when you're online for an hour and you see people with fast pass and they're getting ahead of you and you're like, damn it, now I still have 60 minutes and they're getting to walk through. You get so mad when people have fast pass and you don't. So it's just one of those things. And people always complain about fast pass, especially for people who don't even know what fast pass is. They're like, how are these people getting to cut the line? So, fast pass is just an easy target.
And it's amazing how with Fast Pass it works the other way too, because if you're in Fast Pass line and they stop you right at the entrance and they let all the standby in, that it works the other way too. You're like, why are you letting the standby in? I have the Fast. I'm the special one.
It's true. It's so true. It's just, you do get annoyed. You're like, hello, VIP, it's me. Come on, I'm in Fast Pass. Yeah. So yeah, it does work both ways.
I told you I was going to be here 6 months ago, so let me in.
Right.
And if you mastered the old Fast Pass, the paper Fast Pass, you're able to get on a whole heck of a lot more rides than the Fast Pass Plus with electronic.
Right.
And granted, I mean, Disney came and they said that, I guess they did a study and they found that in reality with the old paper ones, people may have used 2 of them as a max. So I guess that's how they started figuring out the electronic stuff. But it's such a pain. And the spontaneity. I mean, we used to go and when we would visit, we would play bus roulette. The day if you didn't have nothing planned, you'd sit at the bus stop, and whatever bus came,
right,
you got on the bus and you went to the park.
Yeah.
There's no way you can do that now.
No, you can't. Because if you do that, let's just say you decide, okay, the Animal Kingdom bus has come, and you're like, oh, let's go on the Animal Kingdom bus. Let me check for fast passes. What's going to be available? It's going to be Dinosaur, maybe, and then could be Bug's Life for like 4 o'clock. And you're not going to get the Safari. You're not going to get Flight of Passage. So it stinks. You can't really have that if you want to try to skip some lines.
Right.
All right, you're on to me, I think.
Yep.
All right, pretty much for me, anything that Disney changes in the park, that is a huge love-hate in the community, and all the people, it's not the way I remember it as a kid, but then again, you're gonna go to Star Wars land, so what do you really want? The movie tour back and miss out on Star Wars. You can't have it all. So, but that is a huge love-hate, not just for me, but everybody, I think.
People kind of like, they don't, change is not a very popular thing to many people.
Right.
They have a very hard time changing patterns, changing what they do, what they want to do, and especially if they can't imagine and they don't know what's really coming. I mean, you can say we're building this, but unless you see it, experience it, you have no idea, and you're counting on them to tease it out over a year and a half, and you can come up with all types of theories, but until you see it, you have no idea. And it was always better that other time, and I really don't want to give it up. And yeah, it becomes a vicious cycle.
And I think rides that, like the light coaster that's coming, I think that'll have a better reception than most any rides, because that's not really changing anything existent. They're not taking something away from us in order to give us that. Whereas, what they've done with Hollywood Studios or, the Energy Adventure in order to put in that coaster, I think that'll have less of a, it'll have more of that love-hate than, say something that just organically appears and, doesn't really, just adds to the park rather than, addition by subtraction necessarily.
Yeah, I think you definitely brought up a good point there, because, like you said, at Hollywood Studios, I mean, they closed everything for a few years, and there's nothing to do in the park. So they took everything away, closed everything, and it's just the amount of people that were in that park just seemed to be a lot more, just because they weren't dispersed anywhere else. So it gets very frustrating. Everybody's knocked studios for years, but when it comes to like the Tron coaster, you're not really seeing that negativity that you do see for everything else, just because it's not taking anything away. I mean, you're hearing a little bit right now, because they did announce, we didn't talk about it on news today, but they did announce that the train station is going to be closed. The train's going to be closed for 6+ months, and that this Tomorrowland Speedway is going to be closed for close to a year, I think it is. So
that's okay.
Yeah, but because they're shortening the track there.
My feeling of the Tomorrowland Speedway, that's okay.
Right. So
in fact, I think the global warming will decrease simply because of that. So
right.
But yeah, you're right. The whole idea of construction, which was on my list, is there's just a lot of construction that takes place at one time, and it disrupts a whole lot of things. And the Hollywood Studios is the prime example of that. For the longest time, there was nothing to do at the park, really.
Yep.
It was a quarter of a day park, and that was it. And now, they're going to take away, add, and then jack up all the prices.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know.
Many people say, that's not my Epcot. Well, with all the changes, that's not what Epcot was supposed to be. Epcot's not Epcot anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, that could be. We can go off on Epcot for a very, very long time. So I don't want to go down that rabbit hole in Epcot. What's your next one, Steve?
Well, I'm going to go down a little of that rabbit hole.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Just because of Food and Wine is coming.
Okay.
All right. It's called Drinking Around the World, people, not Drunk Around the World.
Yeah.
The thing that just annoys me more than anything else is the purpose of going there to get drunk. And that's not the purpose of it. The purpose is to taste and enjoy the wine and the beer and not get blasted and blottoed and not have T-shirts that say, you know, drunk around the world and everything crossed out with just drunk. And it's just way too much. It's really a pain. I never go on Fridays, and I never go Fridays, Saturdays, nights to the festival. You got to stop it. I mean, it's just I don't understand the mentality. You know, maybe I did when I was way younger, but I just don't understand the mentality of doing that at the theme park, especially in the summertime or in the fall when it's still 80, 90 degrees at night.
Yeah, my 21-year-old self would probably have partaken in that, but now, one, I couldn't afford to do that. It's just too expensive, and two, it's just too hot to really enjoy it, and it's really not appropriate to be around kids and families acting like that. But you know, if I was 21, I'm sure I would have done it. I'm sure there's no doubt I probably would have done that. But because I'm much older and wiser, it's not something I'm going to do. And better looking too. Alright, so I guess it comes back to me here. So this one I'm going to talk a little bit is going to be transportation. And I love being able to stay in the Disney bubble while I'm on site. But I dread the long lines when you're leaving the park to go back to your resorts at the end of the day. That can stink. I hate the wait for the buses because there's been many times, especially at my resort, where I've had to wait 45 minutes for a bus to take me to one of the parks. That is very frustrating, and it just annoys the crap out of me having to do that. And then sometimes even when you're getting to go back to the park, even in the middle of the day, I've waited 30, 40 minutes. But it tends to be more, it happens to me more when I'm sitting at the resort waiting to get to one of the parks. So the bus transportation system is just not good. Then you also have the issues with the monorail. And when we stayed at the Contemporary last year, we ran into many issues where it took us an hour and a half to get back from Epcot back to the Contemporary, which is just crazy. I can't fathom that, how that even happened, because they're having problems with the monorail, and we got stuck waiting for it. We got stuck on the monorail. So it's just one of those things, you know, you love being able to take the Disney transportation wherever you go, so you stay in the bubble. You don't have to worry about driving, but you run into all these problems that it's just taking time away from the parks and your enjoyment of the parks.
Oh, and those time boards for the buses. I know you love those, Sean.
Oh, yeah.
Those just can... Oh, yeah.
How could you be sitting there like, okay, so right now at time of recording it's 10:43 a.m. and it'll say the bus is coming at 10:45, and then it's 10:46, 10:47, 10:48. How did you add like 7 minutes? How did 7 minutes got added to that? Like, what happened?
Did the guy make a wrong turn or something? Or
exactly, like, what's going on? Oh, those boards, they're so frustrating.
It's Florida traffic. You never know. People are just bad drivers down here.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, yeah, you never know.
No, I agree. The whole idea of at the end of one night was so bad at the Magic Kingdom that we stayed late. The line to the monorail was out almost towards the riverboats. It was so long, and the riverboat line was back to the entrance of the park. So, you know, what do? You're going to be there for a very, very long time because everyone's leaving at the first time, the same time. And then when you get to your car, you know, you have to decide: do you want to walk? Do you want it from the Magic Kingdom? Do you want to take the tram?
Right.
And then that just adds it up, and then you get to your car and you have to get behind people, or if you're getting on the bus back to the resort, you can stand there for, I think my record is 4 buses that had come to pick up people and take them back.
Okay.
It's it's infuriating after having like a fun night, because you start there and the first bus goes and you go, oh, this isn't too bad. The second bus goes, this isn't too bad. And the third bus goes and you go, oh man, I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's true.
And it's even worse if you're staying at like All Stars, because they're all connected, and it's miserable because I guarantee you they send more buses for Wilderness Lodge or.
Oh, they don't.
They don't.
No. Nope. I've been there. I've been there where I've seen 3 All-Star buses come before Wilderness Lodge buses come.
But again, that's right what you said, the love to hate. You know, I'm probably looking and thinking the same thing.
Right, exactly.
Wilderness Lodge people. Who do they think there are?
What I think is also hilarious is when you're waiting at the resort to go to one of the parks, so you're just waiting for Magic Kingdom to come up, and I've seen it before many times where 4 buses of Studios will come, or 4 buses of Epcot will come, and there's nobody getting on them because they've come so many times. Like, how is that possible? How is that park's bus coming 4 times before the park bus I need? I don't get that.
And on top of that, you're thinking, why do they ever have to send 4 buses in a day for Hollywood Studios total? Why did you even need that? So
yeah.
All right, I think we're on to me. I got 2 real quick ones, and then my list is about done. One of mine, and again, I wish he was here to defend himself, but it is one of my love hates, is to joke with Keith. I mean, that and it's a compliment because he can take a joke very well, the best of them. But it is one of my love hates. I love to hate on Keith.
Yeah, so do I. I love, one of the things on my list was the Dole Whip. I love the Dole Whip, but it's just fun getting into that whole Dole Whip versus Citrus Swirl thing. I do prefer the Citrus Swirl. That will be my favorite forever. But it's fun, you know, giving Keith a hard time about the Dole Whip and then him coming back with the Citrus Swirl. It's fun doing that.
Yeah, I think that alone is probably one of the best love hates, is the Citrus Swirl Dole Whip, let alone with Keith.
Yeah.
But my other quick one too, besides mine, and again, it's a compliment to Keith, but people who question your frequent Disney vacation choices, like friends and family, that is one of my favorite love hates, because I just think you don't know what you're talking about. You're let me take you, you almost. But then again, on the other hand, I'm like, I really want you to go with me, but
exactly.
But that's one of my favorite, because people all the time, you're going back there again? You just went last year. I go, yeah, I would have gone twice more if I could have. So, and I know, especially, I imagine it probably is worse when you're a DVC member, Sean, because I imagine that has a little bit of maybe a stigma on itself, that you're not just a Disney vacationer, but you're labeled. So,
oh yeah, it's a timeshare, so you always get that look like, oh, you want a timeshare? So, yeah, and that'll go every year. Some people, you don't get anything like that, don't give you a hard time, but some people are just like, you're going there again? Weren't you just there like 4 months ago? But yeah, like, well, I enjoy it. It's like, I don't get people who go to the Jersey Shore every year and they'll rent the same house or go to the same beach, and dealing with all the crowds there and dealing with people from Jersey. I don't want to be around people from Jersey the whole time. I want to get away from you guys and really enjoy myself. I don't need to be around that. Meet more people, and it's just the same thing. So somebody's going to spend time on the beach for 8 hours and do nothing, or I can go to Disney World and have fun, for 8-10 hours. I'll go both ways. I mean, because I can go to the beach. I can go to the beach and literally not move for 8 hours, go into the water, come out, go back into the water. I'm perfectly fine with that. Being in Ocean City a couple weeks ago, I've really enjoyed that aspect of it. But, yeah, I mean, just sometimes just people just like, if you enjoy something, just let them enjoy it.
Yeah, if you know what you love, why?
Right.
Yeah, there's it's always fun for people to say, so I don't understand. Why are you going back?
Right.
Because I have fun. I enjoy it. I don't feel I need to defend myself. Why do I have to defend myself? You're not defending yourself on your vacations and what you do. Why do I have to defend myself about Disney?
Right, exactly.
Well, my last one here is a real popular one. I don't know. It's Rose Gold.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Get rid of it. It's done. It's over. It has been. Stop it. No more. I don't. Next thing we're going to see is rose gold toilet paper. I don't need rose gold anymore. They're really cool to look at. It's not a natural color, folks, but it's really cool to look at, and the merchandise is a lot of fun. But enough with the rose gold. Get rid of it. We don't need it anymore. I mean, we don't need rose gold.
I don't even know what to say about that. I'm kind of at a loss for words. I don't
know if I'll be back in another week, but that's my point.
I'm not going to speak on that. I'd like to be on the show again. So,
yeah, it's just I don't get it either. It's just one of those things that becomes a fad and everybody has to have it. It's just I don't get that. Yeah, back to us going to Disney World every year and enjoying Disney World. If you like rose gold, enjoy it. That's I can't knock you for that.
But I can love to hate you.
That's right.
Exactly.
Can love to hate you.
Very true. The last thing I just want to bring up would be Stitch's Great Escape. People love to hate this, and it's more just hate. It's not a very good attraction. It replaced the very good attraction, which was Alien Encounter. Granted, people were scared by Alien Encounter, and that's one of the reasons why it wasn't really appropriate for Disney. But I think this day and age, I think Disney could certainly get away with it and bring it back, and I don't think that would be a problem. But maybe not in Magic Kingdom, but taking that and throwing it into studios I think would work perfectly. So Stitch's Great Escape is just one thing I just wanted to bring up.
I think this is a great topic. It was really hard, instead of just listing your pet peeves or things you just hate, you actually had to think about, like, if that wasn't there, I would actually be sad. Even though I don't like it, I might still be a little sad that that's gone, because I enjoyed not liking it.
Except for Stitch's Great Escape.
It's very weird.
It's true. No, yeah. I mean, you brought up a good point.
Yeah, like when Stitch's Great Escape is gone, who's next? You got to have somebody fill that void.
Right.
So
exactly.
What's going to be? We almost need that just so we don't hate a different ride.
That's true. That's a good point.
As much as we can.
Right.
That may be the next episode. What do we want? What ride do you want to hate next after Stitch's Great Escape?
That's a good idea.
Good idea.
All right, Brian, I want thanks for coming on again. Why don't you tell everybody out there where they can find you on social media, if you want to plug anything?
Yeah, you can find me underneath most Enchanted Tiki Talks posts, as I'm a apple farmer, and I have a YouTube channel and my Twitter account, both Appleman365. You can kind of experience what I do for a living, and I get bored, and a good way to connect with people and get out there and have fun. So
now I heard a rumor about you and your apples is that Snow White actually ate one of your apples. Is that true?
I'm going to leave that one. My lawyers told me to say no comment to the media. No comment that it's currently in litigation. And once that gets settled, maybe I might come out and speak. So.
All right, thanks. Yeah, we'll let you. You can do your press conference here when that comes out.
I'll do it at the where the Nixon do his whatever.
The Contemporary.
Yeah, Contemporary, and say we settled out of court. So
just make sure you say I'm not a crook.
Yeah, I just poison apples. A little different.
All right, that's going to do it for this week. But first, we want to thank our sponsors, Kingdom Strollers. Get your premium strolling crib rentals at kingdomstrollers.com. Let the vacation experts at mousepros.com help plan your next perfect Disney vacation. Don't forget to check out our store at redbubble.com/Tiki Talk Podcast. You can connect with us on social media. Find us on Facebook at Enchanted Tiki Talk, Instagram and Twitter at Tiki Talk Podcast. You can leave us a message on the Tiki Talk hotline at 256-4MY-TIKI. That's 256-469-8454. And if you enjoy the show, please take the time to rate us on iTunes. And you can find me on Twitter at 1 Minute Disney Dream. That's 1MIN Disney Dream, MouseWorldVacations.com and MousePros.com. And you can find Keith at Dole Whip Daily. Is it Dole Whip Daily? Oh man, I think so.
And it was just Citrus World Daily. I couldn't remember.
I don't remember. Yeah, I think it's Citrus World Daily. Go ahead, Steve.
You can find me at Disney Diary on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and please check out DisneyDiary.com for some latest news and fun views. and videos.
Yeah, make sure you check it out this week with all the Halloween stuff that came out. And I want to thank Steve for once again coming on and being part of the crew, and for Brian to show back up on the Tiki Hut. So Alan, please take it away.
Thanks for listening this week. For Sean and Keith, I'm Alan, and this has been Enchanted Tiki Talk. Aloha.
Enchanted Tiki Talk has been brought to you by mousepros.com. Let us plan your perfect Disney vacation. And mickeymonthly.com, where you can get the park sent directly to you. And by kingdomstrollers.com for all your premium stroller and crib rental needs. For all of us here, I'm David Benter. Thanks for listening to Enchanted Tiki Talk.